Are there any NFL players that you model your game after?
I love watching Luke Kuechly. Obviously, he's gone now, retired. But yeah, that was kind of the one guy. Like I literally just in high school, I'd be watching his highlights. Like I'd always watch his games. So I loved watching Luke Kuechly play. He was just a tackling machine. Like he was probably my favorite linebacker when I was younger, and still kind of to this day. So.
When you think of the best game you've ever played on any level, what game was that?
I'd probably have to say probably my Buffalo game. My junior year, I got probably 15, 14 total tackles, a pick. Yeah, that was probably my best game that I've ever played. I mean, when I was in Pee Wee, I had ridiculous stats and stuff, but it was Pee Wee, so
that's fun stuff.
I don't know if you can count those.
All right, so we play ball in the Midwest. So you get 90 degrees during training camp. By the end of the year, you're playing in 20-degree weather. Which weather do you prefer?
They're both equally not as enjoyable as you'd think, but I'd probably go with cold because I cramp a lot. I'm a notorious cramper, so you don't cramp in cold games. So if I had to play in 90 degrees is super super hot, or 20 degrees, I'd probably play in 20 degrees.
Who would you say is the best offensive line in the Big Ten?
The best offensive line in the Big Ten. There's, I mean, the Big Ten prides itself on O-lines. So, I mean, it just seems like every single week you're going against, like, an elite O-line. But obviously Michigan, Minnesota, they always come to mind of just these big old dudes that can move, that are solid. So, yeah, it's those two kind of teams kind of stand out a little bit of having the best O-line. It's always a fun challenge to go play them because you're going to play against guys that are getting drafted. They're talented dudes. So yeah.
They say the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. So take me a little bit through your pre-snap mechanics and how you get the guys lined up.
Yeah. So you linebackers got to know what the front's doing, and it also has to know what the secondary's doing, which is the only position on defense that really needs to know what both sides is doing. So yeah, you got to be aware of the formation, the up front, what the backs alignments are, what the tight ends alignments are, but then you also have to be aware of what coverage responsibility you have based on the formation, whether it's 3x1, 2x2, all that sort of thing. And if you have a combo coverage, if you're playing 2 or 4 or 3 or whatever it is. So there's just a lot of different variables going into a pre-snap play recognition, and so it's you've played linebacker, you kind of know what it's all about, but you get used to it, and it's just kind of like just an everyday brushing your teeth type deal once you get used to it.
Who would you say is the toughest skill player to defend on your own offense?
We got some shifty running backs. Probably Anthony Grant is one of them. Gabe Irving is another dude that's it's not fun to guard them in space. Like they're shifty. So yeah, it's I'd probably have to say AG though, just because he's got some wiggle to him, and it's not fun to be in open space with him. So yeah, it's probably AG.
What's the best thing he does?
He just makes you miss. Like if you're in a phone booth, you might miss him. Like he's a really talented running back, but he's not afraid to lower the boom. I think there was a play at Rutgers last year where he just lowered his head and just boomed I think it was the corner or something. But it was like holy cow, like that's impressive. But he's shifty. He's a really talented dude.
All right, so there was a WWE Smackdown outing. What'd you learn from that?
I actually didn't go to that.
Oh, really?
I actually didn't go to that.
What'd your teammates have to say?
They said they were just like, they were kind of blown away. Like there was a lot of guys that just went. They were just like, what even is this? So yeah, there was and I'm just not it's just not a big WWE fan at all. And they were just like, I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, it was just a different experience from what I gleaned from what I got from everybody that kind of went to it.
What's the biggest thing that Coach Rhule has said or done that's really stuck with you so far?
I just love kind of two things: the structure and the detail he brings to our team and to our culture and to our program is one thing that I love. That we do, like everything from stacking up the weights in the weight room to having the in up to bringing a pin to the meeting, and everything in between. It's all very structured, very detailed. And then another thing is the brotherhood, the unity, the team bonding that he brings are kind of the two things that have really stuck with me. That I love how he runs a program and love how he kind of builds a team.
You're working through a new defensive scheme right now, so what was the process like really diving into the playbook and learning how the structure works?
Yeah, totally different schematically from what we're used to. But yeah, it's an attacking defense. It's not a kind of sit back and let the offense dictate what it wants to do. It's let's go get them in second and long, third and long. Let's go attack them. Let's go get them off schedule and just create chaos. From the offensive perspective, so that's fun. It's different, totally different philosophy. But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to make some plays.
How do you best describe what the Cornhuskers mean to your fan base?
It means everything. We've been Saturdays in Nebraska. Everybody just goes to the game since the 60s. That's just what Nebraskans do. It means so much to the state, to the program, the support that we have in the state, and it's just what Nebraska is. It's just Nebraska football. The support's unreal.
All right, I'll get you some Big Ten superlatives. Number one, best uniform in the Big Ten.
Best uniform in the Big Ten. I like the. I was actually a fan of yours when I was growing up, so I like the Buckeye. What do you guys like, the Buckeye stickers and
Buckeye
stuff?
leaves.
Yeah. I'm a fan of those. I think those are a clean look. So I think Ohio State has probably one of the better looks, not in just Big Ten, but kind of college football, where it's the Buckeye leaf and it's just a clean look.
Smart guy. I like this.
Playing to my audience.
Favorite school to beat in the Big Ten?
Favorite school to beat in the Big Ten. I think when we beat Penn State during a COVID year, that was probably my favorite memory, favorite game in college, just because, just like Ohio State, Penn State is college football. When you think of college football, you think of Penn State, you think of those blue bloods. So yeah, beating them was a really cool experience, and something I always look back on. Just that was a pretty fun game.
All right, what's the best thing about playing in the Big Ten?
Playing against elite competition, day in, week in, week out. You're going to be playing against good teams. You're going to be playing against well-coached teams, and then with really good players too. You're going against future NFL guys. You're going against guys that are 4-year, 5-year guys. It's an older league. So I think the competition and just what it means to college football is kind of what I enjoy most about being in the Big Ten.